Hi, kids. How's everybody doing tonight? It's Joni Wilson, and I'm coming from Nashville, Tennessee, in the United States, for the Dog Rescuers book series with Roxy Roo, who's already asleep. I almost don't even want to wake her up. You want to say hi to the kids? She's been snuggled here in bed already. We had a really long walk. And of course, tonight we have Mojo Wilson with us. He actually got his stitches out today, so his knee is almost all better. All we have to do now is exercises and just get it strong again. So almost as if you had broken your arm and you had a cast for a few weeks. That's kind of what Mojo had, and he's all better now. So pretty soon, after all of his exercises, we're going to be able to let him run and jump and play again and swim and do all the things that he likes to do. So he's on the mend, and we got him here tonight like I promised. And I had some great response to some of you kids that said you were going to send in some of your pets, and I should say kids, I should say big kids too, because when it comes to our pets, we're all kids. You had sent in some photos, so I want to show you and acknowledge some of your pets. I also want to let you know that tonight is our last night of book 2. So I'm going to read you the final chapter, chapter 10 of book 2, Purrfectly Unleashed of the Dog Rescuers series. Okay. And don't worry, you can keep going back and rewatch everything that we've done over the past few weeks on the Facebook page, The Dog Rescuers Online. Just look for The Dog Rescuers. You'll see all the drawings and everything. All you have to do is push like. That's it. I don't even have to accept you. It's just like. And you can go on there and you can rewatch all of the storytelling times that happened for each night over the past 3 weeks for book 1 and book 2. And book 3 comes out in the summer. So if you like that page, you're going to once in a while, you and your parents or your grandma or your grandpa or aunt and uncle or friends will get a notification of when book 3 will start to air it. And we'll do the same thing. We'll do live storytelling time of that one too. Okay. So keep in touch with that. In the meantime, I want to show you. This is Bryce. He is from Toronto, Canada, and he sent me a picture of his fish. And I think that's awesome because we all have something to rescue and we all have little pets. And sometimes when you're only 5 years old, it's actually good to start with a fish or like a turtle, because having a dog or a cat takes a lot of work. You have to feed them. You have to give them water. You got to walk them 4, 5, 6 times a day. You got to make sure that they're okay. And you got to be old enough to handle that. So I think that's great that Bryce is starting out with a fish. I also wanted to show you Safi. Safi is a little Chihuahua, and she was rescued by Stephanie. And Stephanie rescued little Safi because Safi is blind. And Safi has inspired a character that's coming out in book 3 named Detective Pickles, a blind Chihuahua. And his favorite saying is, blind dogs see everything. So this is exciting. I also wanted to show you what's coming up in book 3, Captain. And Captain is a military dog, and he helps out his master, and they get medals from the president and everything. But Captain's got a much bigger, deeper story than that, so you'll have to tune in for that, okay? Of course, Captain and all of the others, they salute him and they thank him for his service. And this is all coming out in book 3 because Captain's story goes a lot deeper than just getting a medal. There's a lot that goes on after he gets his medal. So you'll have to tune in for that. Here's Samuel Pennington, the real Samuel Pennington, who is a character in the book. There you go. And I rescued Sammy 18 years ago. Sammy is now in heaven. He went to the Rainbow Bridge. And someday I know in my heart I'm going to see him again, because that's heaven for dogs. And it's a heaven right up there with people. And you get to see all of your pets again at the Rainbow Bridge, because love keeps going on and on and on, right? Love never ends. So that's the best part. I wanted to show you a couple of little drawings of Detective Pickles and Sandy in book 3. They become pals. So we'll have to watch out, see how Detective Pickles is the little chihuahua, and he was inspired by the real dog named Safi, who was rescued. And then there's Samuel Pennington in his cartoon form. So isn't that nice? Sammy lives on in the books. So I'll never, ever forget his memory. So that's the exciting part about it. This is Cody. Cody lives in Windsor, Ontario, and Cody is a great dog. And he's right there with his grandkid humans. Those are grandkids with him. He was so gentle. He's also crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, but Cody was also rescued, and he is a great, great dog that they're all going to see someday again as well. Just to catch up right now, of course, we have the characters in book 1 and in book 2, Abby, the little girl, 8 years old, and then Luke, her next door neighbor, who helps her. And these dogs start showing up in her yard. She doesn't know why, but unbeknownst to who, Kiddo, right there, okay, the far side, Kiddo pretends he needs to be rescued just so we can get in her house and get in her yard and use her house as a launch site to rescue a bunch of other dogs, because he sends them out messages with his mind, a telepathic message it's called. And all these dogs keep showing up, and oh my goodness. So now we have Zeus, the Great Pyrenees. We have Romeo, the trash-eating bulldog who has overcome his addiction, and he started his own bike riding, and he's gone viral and all this stuff. We see Chanel, who has shown up out of the blue, and she admits that she's not this big elaborate dog. She's also just from smack dab in the middle of America. And guess what? She joins forces with Romeo the bulldog and learns how to ride a bike too, and they become a circus act. And when they are seen by all the neighbors, they are put online and they go viral on the internet, and they get offered to come to Hollywood in Los Angeles, California to go on TV. And what happens before they get on TV? Oh, Romeo by accident walks through wet cement right past some of the stars' Walk of Fame on the Hollywood sidewalk, and he gets in trouble by the police, and they pick him up, all the dogs up, by a dog catcher. But no worries, because guess who frees them? The cat, Snowflake. Snowflake, who's just kind of a nuisance to the dogs, but you want to know something? He's becoming quite an ally, whether they want to admit it or not. So that's where we're at right now. He just rescued all the dogs out of the dog pound in Los Angeles, and they went through all kinds of like alleyways and over rooftops. They're all wet and they're all tired. And guess what? Snowflake led all the dogs right back to Abby and Luke, who are waiting frantically at a coffee shop. They're on the phones trying to find where they could get these dogs out of the pound. And the cat, Snowflake, walks right up and basically paw delivers them to the kids. There you go. All the dogs are back. This is good because it's in time for the TV show. Remember, we got to get Romeo and Chanel on the TV show. And it's coming up right there. As you can see, that's them on stage with their circus act that they have developed called the Poddlers. So here we go. Now we're going to finish up and catch up to what we were last night. So Snowflake just delivered all the dogs to Abby and Luke. Abby is she's just thanking him profusely. And he's like, "You're welcome." Even Kiddo had to thank him. And that was hard. That was a hard pill to swallow for Kiddo, because you know he doesn't like cats. So even he had to say thanks to the cat. The next night, they all sat with contentment and pride in the studio audience at the giant TV show production stage to watch their dear friends, Romeo and Chanel, do their bicycle circus act on national television. But there was one thing they had to do before they left Hollywood in Los Angeles, California. So here they are in the middle of the circus act on television. Chanel's got a costume. And Romeo the bulldog, he's slimmed down because he's been on a great diet and exercise plan. He's eating nothing but healthy foods now. He's no longer eating trash. He made a promise to everybody to get off it, and he's done it. And now they're getting famous. The last thing they wanted to do before they left was to see the ocean. See, in California is right there on the ocean. When they reached the Pacific Ocean, Abby was completely amazed and overwhelmed by the beauty of it all. Being from a sleepy town smack dab in the middle of America, she had never seen nor imagined the water going on and on and on endlessly into the horizon. They all sat on the beach and watched the sunset while pondering their gratitude for their good fortune. Hey, they got out of the pound. They got on television. This is a good day. I have never imagined in my wildest dreams of being a circus act would actually come true, said Chanel. Well, I never imagined that I would have broken the chains of my addiction to trash to become a circus act. And if you had told me a month ago that I'd be healthy, riding a bike, and friends with a cat, I would have laughed so hard my big belly would have ached, replied Romeo. They all joined paws and hands and howled in happiness as they said, "Goodbye, Hollywood." And right then they looked up to the big white dog in the sky and said, "Thank you." One whole week had gone by after the great adventure to Hollywood. They were all hanging out on the front porch of Abby's home in her sleepy town, smack dab in the middle of America, wondering how to pay for dog food. Bills are piling up, Luke, and my parents are working harder than ever to make ends meet, Abby said despondently. It takes money to run a dog rescuing operation, Luke replied as they both sat with their heads nesting in their hands. Kiddo looked at the others and said, "Say a quick prayer to the big white dog in the sky to help us out here. We need a plan B mode of operation to continue. Our rescuers need help rescuing." The mailman, right at that moment, came by, same time, every day as usual. He would pet each dog and one cat, and then give them treats, and always gave little Abby and Luke a smile of approval. On this one particular day, at this very important moment, a letter showed up for Romeo and Chanel. Lo and behold, it was from Hollywood. "A letter from Hollywood can mean only one thing," Kiddo said. They all gathered around Abby as she opened it. "It's a check for money for performing on TV, and it's a lot of money," she said. "See what happens when our hearts are in the right place," said Luke. "Woof, woof, woof, woof," they all said in excitement. Romeo and Chanel had made enough money so that Luke and Abby could continue to feed and help all of the dogs find homes. They also made enough money so that Abby's parents could pay their bills and be there when she got home. So she no longer had to be a latchkey kid. Because they were no longer hurting for money, Luke got a great idea. "Let's start a nonprofit organization," he said to his parents. So they proceeded to take the Podlers circus act, Romeo and Chanel, to the hospital for sick children called St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. That's right down the road from where I live. They performed all their tricks, and it brought so many smiles to many faces. The laughter and the joy that the circus routine brought made these kids heal much faster. And there they are at St. Jude's Hospital for kids. "Welcome, Podlers," it says. And they're all sitting there feeling a lot better. They're petting all the dogs. They're hugging the cat. They're hanging out watching Chanel and Romeo. And all these drawings, too, you can see online at www.thedogrescuers.net if you want to see it afterwards. All of the doctors and nurses could see the big difference that the joy and the laughter made in the children's healing. As Romeo and Chanel performed, Kiddo, Zeus, Snowflake, Abby, and Luke sat amongst the kids and let them pet and hug them. They all sat and watched proudly, knowing that they encouraged a good thing. With all of the laughter in the room, the sick children's future looked a lot brighter. Kiddo looked at Zeus. They gave each other a high five and a sassy grin. "This Plan B mode of operation turned out way better than we've ever expected, don't you think, little buddy?" said Zeus. As Kiddo looked up at his ginormous furry friend, he said, "By Romeo, right, Rising above his problems and ills, he is paying for our dog rescuer's bills. And Chanel has learned she is much more than a toy, as her talents bring these children joy. You have such a way with words, kiddo. So bring it on home, said Zeus. So Kiddo confidently said his favorite rhyme. Here the truth lies within. While they were busy rescuing us, we were actually rescuing them. The end of book 2. So in the meantime, I wanted to play you a little song, okay, to finish up right now so that you guys all can have a little song here and you can listen to all of these songs. And in the meantime, I'm going to just show you some great pictures of some animals that have helped me figure out these characters. And they're dogs from all over the place. Some of them are my dogs that I've rescued or other people's that I know that they rescue dogs and cats. But remember, before you rescue, make sure you're ready for a dog or a cat, okay? Or if you have a dog or cat right now that you feel like you can't take care of, just make sure that you find it a really good home, okay? Take the time to do that. Let's do this right now. And I'm going to put this song that I wrote. There's a lot of songs on here that I wrote with some really big songwriters here in Nashville, Tennessee. So you need to go on www.thedogrescuers.net to actually hear these songs. And it's free. Just go on there and have fun. And you can even get a coloring book page and off of there and you can color and do some fun things, okay? Whoop, I hope it plays. We had storms, so sometimes my internet is slow. Well, I'll have to find it on the other one. Let's see if we can get it on here, shall we? Oh, there we go. I know you're worried, heavy and weak. I know you've climbed, the mountains are steep. I know your travels, my friend, have not been in vain. Remember, you're stronger, wiser, a treasure. You're why they came. There is nothing more powerful that can break the impossible. They will always be there, strong and true, as long as you love like you do. As long as you love like you do. You have the power to heal. You can run fast as the wind, and your greatest gifts live deep within. Staring down all your fears, you have survived so much more. With your courage, you will be free to walk through that door. There is nothing more powerful. So there's nothing more powerful, you guys, to continue to love like you do. And there's nothing more powerful than the love of a great dog or a cat. And it just goes on and on and on and on, and it's endless. So I can't wait to see you guys again. Give me a couple of months to get the next book out and we'll do this again. But in the meantime, go ahead and watch again over at the Facebook online, the Dog Rescuers online Facebook page. Okay. And I have had so much fun. And remember, we're making the world better one dog at a time. Okay. So peace and thank you for joining me. Bye.